Full Moon Features brings to a combination Blu-ray and DVD set the 1977 Jess Franco erotic thriller sci-fi cult movie, Blue Rita. This stars Marlene Fléty as the literally titular Blue Rita, and boy was this something. I've never been a big fan of Jess Franco films. I haven't seen a lot, and the more I see, I'll probably be able to see I haven't seen a lot, even if I've watched up to 50 of his films, because the guy's made like 100-something or more movies in all kinds of genres, and I've always just found them to be not very well made. Sometimes they're entertaining for the right or wrong reasons, but I always find that they're not very well made. So I went into this one not expecting much, and what it delivered was, well, it wasn't very well made, but it was entertaining for multiple reasons that we'll get into. So the presentation here, it's a Blu-ray and a DVD, and the contents of the two are different. So let's start with the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray presents the film with either an English language dub or French audio, French dub, and English SDH subtitles. Let me say this about that. English SDH subtitles are great for people who need them, for the deaf and hard of hearing. They give you dialogue, they explain the audio that's going on. They say, soft jazz music plays or doorbell rings, that sort of thing. But English SDH subtitles should never be the only subtitle option if your film has a foreign language track predominantly. So if you want to watch this in French, and I'll tell you why you might want to watch this in French, it's incredibly distracting if English SDH is the only subtitles you get, because it's just distracting to, like, it'll subtitle sounds before they hear them, before they come up, because the audio tracks are not totally in sync. So the English language version, I found the dubbing seemed really new to me. It seemed more recent, and that made it seem a little bit cheesier to me, and it seemed like they weren't taking it 100% seriously. Not that there's much to take seriously with this film, but I found it distracting. Sometimes, like with the newer Godzilla movies, the new dubs on them, they sound like they have 3 people who are 20 doing it all, and it just seems weird. So I didn't care for the English dub, so I switched over to the French, figuring it's authentic to the time period. But I was stuck with subtitles that didn't match what I was hearing. Now, I don't speak French, but subtitles would pop up for, nobody would say anything. It would be silent. There would be lines that were added for the English language version, and we're seeing the subtitle for that, but in the French track, nobody's saying anything, and a line comes up, and I'm like, that's weird. Is this out of sync? And then, let's say this isn't the case in this movie, but let's say, for instance, somebody is standing in a room, and you hear a gunshot, and they fall to the floor. That's fine if you're just listening to that as it happens, but if it has these SDH subtitles and they're out of sync, that line that says a gun fires may come up before it happens on screen in the film, but before you hear it, and it's kind of ruining things. So I just find the SDH, the extra SDH, which is there and good and proper for a reason. I wish if somebody gives you a choice of a film that's in a foreign language, and there are some movies that don't even have the English dub, that are just in a foreign language, non-English language, that only have the SDH track, and it's always kind of a disappointment and annoying. Just to say that that's what you've got here. So if you don't want to deal with the SDH thing, listen to it in English. You may be fine with the dub. I just found it a little cheesy. So what is the story here? First of all, the film. How long is this film? This film is 78 minutes, so it's pretty breezy for what it is. This was really a softcore sex movie, basically, with Franco injecting, some sort of a plot and story and fantastical elements to probably keep it interesting for himself and to keep it interesting for the Raincoat crowd. But the Raincoat crowd just wants a lot of nudity, and this film delivers that pretty much from frame one. Film opens in this nightclub, a lot of go-go stripper ladies dancing on poles. A guy in the audience a blonde woman leans into this middle-aged or older guy sitting there, and he says, I'd like that one. Arrange for me to meet that one. And then we cut to this room. It's a white room, not with black curtains, white curtains actually. It's a white room, very brightly lit with all of this clear plastic inflatable furniture, and the guy and the lady do their thing. Afterwards, he's asleep. I'm not telling you the whole story. She goes to leave, and she's running down a city street, and the woman that we saw earlier, the blonde woman, sees her running mostly nude down a city street, hits her with a car. The guy wakes up, and he's in like a cage set into a floor. He's still naked. He's chained up. The titular Blue Rita shows up above him. She's naked, except for silver thigh-high go-go boots. Or Ace Frehley boots, if you will. She's looking down at him, and she's saying, give me the names, give me the information. He pleads, he doesn't know. And she pours, I swear I'm not going to give you a blow-by-blow in this. get me taken off the air if I did. She pours this green goo on him that makes him extremely aroused. She brings in more naked women to taunt him just at a distance, and she's like, you know, you can have them if you tell us the information. And the film basically does that on repeat. Various men are captured from this after having dalliances with the women and being lured into dalliances with the honey trap, as they call them. These dalliances with these women in this nightclub, they're put in the floor. They're asked to give the information because they may be spies. They may know about it. They may know about spies. They may have a lot of money they want to extract, and it's a lot of back and forth of that. It's a lot of softcore nude rutting. It's a lot of green goo being poured on guys so that they go crazy. And it's pretty laughable, pretty goofy. I seriously doubt that Franco took it seriously. I don't think anybody really would. And so it's just goofy. It's a goofy, weird softcore movie, the kind of thing you would have seen on Cinemax After Dark back in the late 80s, early 90s, when they would run all these weird Euro sleaze films, basically because they had a lot of nudity in them. And it's goofy. So it's sort of like an espionage movie. I kind of wondered if it was going to go into the same territory or be connected to Franco's Girl from Rio, which was about another all-female team of assassins and soldiers and criminal masterminds that were trying to crush men and take over the world. This doesn't quite go that way, but it's sort of that same theme. People say if you watch enough Franco movies, they start to make sense because they interconnect, and I don't know if maybe I've watched enough that I'm trying to find connections. So the extras on this, there's a photo gallery that's 2 minutes. It's German lobby cards and a press book set to the score. The score lifted from the film, so you do hear the music, but a little bit of like probably moaning or something as well as that. Something that's labeled Vintage Franco VHS Trailer Reel. It's 7 minutes. These are all taken from the old Wizard video releases of these Franco films, most of which, it starts up with graphics where they show you the old Wizard video cover, and then it goes into the old VHS or worse sourced trailers for these films, which is interesting to see how they were advertised in their day, how they were retitled, and very nostalgic for me to see these old box covers. I never rented any of these, and I'll tell you what they are. I never rented any of these, but I remember all of these box covers. It's Oasis of the Living Dead, Demoniac, A Virgin Among the Living Dead, The Screaming Dead, Errata Kill, and The Invisible Dead. So that's 7 minutes of that, which again doesn't look very good, but it's kind of interesting to see. You get something labeled as Rare Interview. It's a 2014 interview with Chris Alexander talking to British director Peter Strickland about his 2013 film The Duke of Burgundy, which was a remake of Franco's Lorna the Exorcist. And it's mostly Strickland talking about his own work and his obsession with Franco films. So that's 24 minutes, and that's audio only. The DVD is, the movie is exactly the same, but it's only in English and there are no subtitles. So if you pop in the DVD version that comes in this set, you're just going to get the English dub of the film. The extra on this is a 7 minute video interview with one of the stars of the film, this guy Eric Falk. 7 minute interview with Eric Falk, who played a boxer in the film, and he talks about Janusz, the boxer. He talks about working with Franco and working in sex films of the time and all that. It's pretty interesting for what it is. So can I show you the cover of this? Sometimes these covers are a little saucy. I can show you the slipcase. There's the slipcase there of this. Blue RITA. Pretty nice slipcase, actually, from Full Moon. All the info on the back. Can I show you the box on the inside? No, I can't. So it's a little bit of nudity on the cover of this. And I'll show you the back. It's got nudity on it, too, so I can't show you for very long. And I can show you the discs, sure. So there's the DVD and the Blu-ray there. So if you're a Jess Franco fan, you absolutely want to get this, because I don't know if there's a better version of this out there somewhere, but it looks really good. It looks and sounds really good, despite the issue with the subtitles or the dub titles or the SDH, the dubbing and all that. It's a Jess Franco film, affordably available on Blu-ray in America from Full Moon Productions or Full Moon Features. So there you have it. There is one other one of these, so watch for my review of the other one of these that was released recently, entitled, what is it? It's right there, Voodoo Passion, coming soon. Ooh, it's like a cliffhanger. Tune in again and I'll talk about Voodoo Passion.